Welcome back to the Quilty Life with Jenn George Burt. Today, we're going to talk about things that I love, notions, tools, all the fun things that make improv quilting a little easier, a little less stressful, and a lot more fun. Of course, we're going to start with lunch trays, which you guys know I love. So what are lunch trays? They're just plastic trays and they have a little lip on them. I have a particular kind that I buy on Amazon, but literally any kind of lunch trays will do. I like this particular size. They're about 15 inches wide and 10.5 inches this way. So that's the size I like. I find them very convenient. They sell them in all different kinds of sizes. The ones that I buy, they kind of come in a random color assortment. Every single time I've ordered them, they come in packs of 8 the way I buy them. And they just mix and match. And they have sort of speckly in there because these are a wheat straw plastic, which is some special kind of plastic, which is supposed to be more environmentally friendly. But, so I love these things. I use them for quilting, but I also use them when I'm doing jigsaw puzzles. I can sort my puzzle pieces this way and they stack up nicely. The other thing that I use these for a lot is just to put my notions and stuff and carry them around my house. So I'm going to do some hand sewing downstairs. I put them all on this tray and I haul it all downstairs, and it makes it all easy to move around. The way I use this for improv quilting, you've probably seen though, is I put my pieces here on my cutting table and then I can take them over to my sewing machine, to my ironing board, and everything just stays nice and contained. Yes, I am preaching the gospel of lunch trays. I think everybody should get them, and they might just change your life, and you can thank me later. The next thing I think that everyone needs to do improv are seam rollers, and not just any seam rollers, the Clover seam rollers. So I've tried a bunch of different seam rollers over the years, and some of them just don't work as well. A lot of the ones that don't work well tend to be bigger, and you would think that would be better, but it's not. This is what the Clover seam roller usually looks like. It's usually this blue color. I've actually kind of worn this one down. I still had it around so I could show you what the color actually looks like, but this is the one I'm currently using. So you probably can't see it, but this barrel here, the part that rolls, it's bigger in the middle than it is on the sides. And that is actually an important feature that a lot of the seam rollers don't have. They're just flat. And having it slightly raised here in the middle allows it, when you're in here, you're really pressing down on the part where you want it to press. You can easily hold it in your hand. It's very ergonomic. So I just really love this thing, and it works better than finger pressing. I usually use it in combination. I do a little finger pressing and then I roll this over and then I iron it. So it gets everything nice and flat for me. So I really love these things, and they last a really long time. I think I had this one for 10 years before I decided it was too flat, and then changed to this one, which was just some special release. That's why it's purple. The blue's always available. All right, this one's pretty obvious. Anyone who does improv should be using a rotary cutter, but these are my favorite rotary cutters. So they don't have a tiny ergonomic one that I found with the squeezy thing. If they did, I would buy that. I don't use this thing that much, the tiny one, but if I need to do really tight little curves or something like that, this one does come in handy, so I like to have it around. My 45 millimeter and my 60 millimeter, which just refers to the size of the blade, by the way. So these two are my favorite. These are Olfa, and they have a lock which prevents this from squeezing. If you lock it, you can't squeeze. So this travels well and you can't accidentally cut yourself, but it also makes it so it goes, as soon as you're done cutting, you just let go and it's hidden, so you can't accidentally cut yourself, which I really like. This is the one that I use most often, as the 45 millimeter one. It comes in all different colors, and they have special releases sometimes with really cute colors. And they don't have the bigger ones in a lot of colors. If they come out with one that's a cute color, I might end up upgrading to something that's not the bright yellow. But for now, bright yellow will do. I use the 60 millimeter if I'm going to cut a lot of layers of fabric. Otherwise, I'm going to use this one because I just find it more ergonomic, and easier to use overall. Next up are Tailors clappers. Now, honestly, I didn't even know these existed until about 4 or 5 years ago. And once I started using them, I became a true convert, and I basically can't imagine doing improv piecework without Tailors clappers. Once you try them, you'll totally understand. So I buy these from a company called Jackson's Woodworks, but they come in different sizes. This one is a square that has a handle, which I use a lot. And this one is long and skinny, and it has some sort of grooves on the side that make it easy to pick up and set down. So there are super fancy ones. There's some companies that make it with all inlaid wood, and they're gorgeous. And then there's ones that have felt on the top of them that you can use to press seams open. There's all kinds of variations on Tailors clappers. So look around and find the ones that you like and that will do the job for you. They also come in different sizes. There's small squares, big squares, long, skinny ones. I find that this combination is really nice. I have a few of this size because you can lay these right on a seam. And then the big square ones are nice for when you're pressing an entire block. Now, honestly, I would like one that's a little bit bigger than this one. So the next Tailors clapper I get, I'm going to buy a slightly bigger square so that I can press blocks that are even bigger than this. Now, some people only use Tailors clappers with steam, and they claim that these don't work without steam. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. I never use steam, ever. So I just iron it. I get it hot, I leave it on my ironing board, and then I just set the Tailors clapper on top of it. And it's sort of like it's getting ironed a little longer, but without the actual heat of the iron. It's just kind of holding that heat that was trapped in your ironing board cover and in the fabric, and just kind of holds it there a little bit longer and gets it a little bit flatter and lets it sort of cool off in the state that you want it to be in. So they're really, really great. Definitely give these a try. If you want to just test it out, get one of these small ones. They don't cost very much if you buy the cheaper brands like the Jackson Woodworks, and you can just see if you like it. Okay, next up, Wonder Clips, or little plastic clips that maybe aren't the name brand Wonder Clips. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. I have these in all different sizes. These in this bowl are just the standard size. These are the tiny ones. And this is an assortment of different ones. These are really long. These are just sort of fat. I've gotten these from various places. There are various brands. I just put these in this bowl if they aren't these two. These are the ones I use most often, the standard ones. The original version of these is by Clover, and they are called Clover Wonder Clips. And they're very handy because they have a little line here on the bottom that shows you where like 1/4 of an inch is. So when you're clipping and you need it to be in a very certain place, you can see the little line on there. So it helps you line things up. I don't clip or pin very much for improv, but when I do, this is what I use. So if I've got a really long seam that I want to hold together, I'm going to clip it together with a few of these so I can carry it from one place to another without it sliding around. These tiny ones come in mostly handy for other projects. I use them most for EPP because they have a very small point on the end. These big ones, these long ones here, I use these a lot when I'm doing binding work. So if I have to pinch large pieces of the fabric or a quilt, I will use these big ones. Now let's talk about the difference between name brand Wonder Clips and the generic kind. Honestly, I have bought a ton of different ones. This is a mix of all of them. I have not found any difference at all, other than I will say the Clover version of these tiny ones, they are more likely to break right here at this point than the knockoff versions. So I recommend just buying whatever you can get your hands on. If you can get the Clover ones on sale, great. But otherwise, don't waste your money on the name brand ones when the other ones you can buy in bulk and save yourself some money. Okay, so rulers. A lot of times in improv, I do things freehand, but a lot of times I also use a ruler. So when I use a ruler, what kind do I like? If you've watched my videos, you'll probably recognize this guy. He's a Creative Grids, and it measures 5 inches across by 15 inches long. And I find this to be a really great size for doing improv. I very rarely need something longer than this. And if I do, then I switch over to using my bigger guy here. So this one is an Omni Grid. And if this isn't the first ruler that I bought in the 90s, it was near the first ruler I bought. So this guy is really old. And I actually have bought the True Grip sticker things, and I stick those on here, and they keep it from sliding around as much. You can still slide it, but it adds the grip. The Creative Grids, which is what this one is, this one has these little they feel sort of like sandpaper, and that keeps it from sliding around when it's on the fabric. So Creative Grid has them built in, and you don't need to add the sticky dots, but if you have other rulers that don't have the grips, you can add them yourself. There are two different brands that I use. This one is what I used on the back of this. They're called True Grips, and they're just little rubberized little things, and you can actually use the little tiny dots separate than the circles in the middle, which is handy. And then these it's by the same brand, but they're called Apple Grips, and they just have slightly different shapes. So depending on what you want to stick it on. And then beyond regular rulers, it's handy to have some nice little square rulers like these that you can use when you want to make things a very particular size. This one works really great. And then I also have it marked off here. I was trying to eyeball something one time, and then so I use this tape. It's kind of see-through, and it just peels off really easily when you're done with it, and it doesn't leave any residue or anything on there. So you can move it around and put it where you want to. The other kind of rulers that I tend to use are these, and these are super cheap. If you need a certain size, so in this case, I needed a 60-degree triangle that was a very certain size, you can go on Amazon and buy these in sets. These are not name brand at all, but they work just as well, and I put my little grippy things on the back, and they work great. This one actually came in a set. I think I got 6 different sizes of 60-degree triangles, which I needed for a particular project that I was working on. What I did was I did improv slab work, and then I came in and cut out pieces of that were exactly 60-degree triangles that I could then sew together. If you need a very particular shape, you can often find them on Amazon for quite cheap. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about is my obsession with random bowls. So you might recognize this bowl as being the scrap bowl that I use in some of my videos. So as I'm working, I'll set this over on the side, and I'll just throw my little bits in here into the bowl as I'm working. That's what I also use this one for, and this is just some old, I think it's a Pyrex bowl. I picked it up one time at a yard sale, I think like 20 years ago, and it has lived in my sewing room ever since. It's quite handy. This is also a Pyrex bowl, and this one sits next to my sewing machine and catches my clips as I take them off. So as I unclip, I just throw them in here, and then I have another bowl over where I'm clipping. Speaking of, this bowl right here is amazing. It is by a local potter. Her name is Gretchen Quinn, and I bought this a long time ago. I bet you can't buy this bowl for $30 from Gretchen Quinn anymore. I was one of her very first customers, I think. So she does beautiful, beautiful work. I have a lot of her pieces, but this is the bowl that I use in my sewing room, so I can look at it every single day. She's wonderful. So look her up, buy some stuff from her. She's great. So those are my very favorite things for improv. And if you want to find them, check out the description. I've got links to all the things. I'll see you again here next time for another episode of the Quilty Life with me, Jenn George Burt.